Hello everybody, welcome to another Bitcoin update. I try to keep it short so we can stay efficient because there's a lot going on, lots of updates needed. For Bitcoin, the situation is still unchanged. I mean, Bitcoin has rallied like crazy into resistance. It's currently testing the area here between the 78.6 retracement and 88.7 retracement. So we talk here about 76,638 and 79,485, just so that you understand sort of the meaning behind this. My best case target for this wave 2 bounce in the white count, I communicated 2 months ago, was around 76 to 77k. That basically relates to that 78.6 retracement, and we're exactly there now. So targets reached, but no sign of a top, which means I would not turn bearish until support levels break. And this rally, there's still so much uncertainty. I mean, for sure, momentum is up. The question is it really healthy, right? And so over the weekend, I'll probably spend some time, get some data from our terminal and everything. I just don't have enough time today to do that. So we want to stay with just the market structure, price action, support resistance levels. Over the weekend, I hope I can give you a broader outlook, also maybe long-term outlook. But the thing is, nothing really changed because the white scenario, this kind of 1-2 setup to the downside, it's not invalidated. And I think it would be a mistake to completely remove it from the chart now, because just imagine this was just a short squeeze and next we'll get a long squeeze, and then it was all just a massive, I mean, not even a fake out, because what is it? Essentially, the market just rallied into our resistance area. You might remember, I mean, I know throughout the sideways action that we had, people just didn't watch the videos, which is, I understand, because I stick to market structure very often. And there was a long trade setup, by the way, for those who missed it. A 1-2 setup, basically one of the best that you can get. A 1-2 setup is the setup in Elliott wave, because after that you get a third wave, and the third wave happened, and it wasn't a surprise. The surprise was, which also surprised me, can be honest about that, I think most people were surprised by the not the magnitude itself, but the pace, right? How fast this happened. But there were 2 to 3 catalysts at once that met a chart that was prepared. And so it is surprising how fast it happened. And so it's not necessarily healthy. So we need to monitor closely the related support levels, right? So I think it's important to understand that the directly bearish structure will be formally invalidated. I mean, no question, no discussion, at 83k. Look, that is the May high. If that level breaks, the 1-2 setup to the downside is invalidated. But the question isn't, is it then invalidated, but what would then take over, And again, it would just be a question of labeling, because the local trend is up anyway. So it's just that the context will change, right? So the wave 2 bounce will morph into something different. Possibly could be an A wave, which could then be followed by a deeper B wave pullback, and the C wave can take us higher. I explained that earlier today in the member video. Let's imagine something might happen, like, for example, in 2021, and the market might rally to new all-time highs, just barely, briefly. That would be one scenario I'm thinking about. This is not so important in the immediate short term. It will become clearer down the line. I think what really matters in the very short term, why most people are here, is what is now the key support? What is a wave count on the smaller time frame? I already mentioned the next resistances. So I think what we should do next, we'll take a look at the smaller time frame, take a look at how support levels have shifted, if they shifted, and remember, momentum is up. And I give you the level that needs to hold to keep the momentum alive, right? So that's the stance. Momentum is up, and as long as certain levels are holding, it will remain so. And I will share with you now what that level is. So I would say, before we go to the smaller time frame, quick reminder, make sure that you also follow us on X. It's the More Crypto Online account there. You get a lot of additional updates there, also for altcoins and a lot of stuff that just doesn't fit onto the YouTube channel, right? I mean, you can't just upload videos. YouTube will just kill your reach at some point. But you'll find a lot of additional updates here on X. I'll leave a link, by the way, for you guys in the comment section. Now let's take a look at the smaller time frame for Bitcoin, and I think I want to make a very clear statement here. I mean, my view is that this here is a third wave. A third wave, the question is it wave 3 in a C wave of this wave 2 rally? And I don't think it is necessarily that wave 2 anymore. I mentioned it already yesterday, explained it all, guys. You can rewatch the video from yesterday. The wave 2 will likely be invalidated. It will be invalidated at 83K. Until then it's valid. But it's just not very typical for a wave 2 bounce to break above that 78.6 retracement, right? So it's too high for the wave 2, which means other scenarios might take over. What many people then, what confuses many people, they think, well, because of that, everything else needs to change. No. Remember, we have been bullish in July and August, and there was a 1-2 setup, and that's a bullish setup. And because of that, and it played out, I wouldn't want to get bearish until support levels break. The problem is that we're now so far away from support levels that we have to allow for a pullback, which allows for maybe a 5 to 10% move down. I mean, from the high all the way down to the lower boundary of the box, 11%. So usually in a wave 4, you would expect the wave 4 to reach the 38.2 retracement. You would talk about 8% move down. So the support zone is between $70,510 and $75,150. And why is that important? It is important because the price can still retrace into this zone, and it's actually due now. But as long as support holds, the upside momentum can stay intact. So very important is to understand that the momentum is up, yeah, regardless of what the overall count says on the daily chart, yeah, because at some point when the white count gets invalidated, orange takes over, and that's not a new count. That's a count we talked about in many videos. But again, I know a lot of people don't watch every video, so I mean, all I can do is produce them, guys. We even talked about how a bull market could look like. I know not everybody did watch that, but I can't do that. You know, I can't do that for you. I can only produce the analysis, right? You have to consume it if you want to stay up to date. So I get that some people might be surprised that, hey, there is a bullish case. Of course there is a bullish case as well. It just wasn't the most probable one, yeah? I think now we're in a transition, and we need to see how the market behaves on the smaller time frame in exactly this region. So it will be important to see how the price reacts to this support zone. I think if that one holds, the next move up can take us potentially above 83K even, yeah? So that's what I would watch for over the weekend. How does the first breather look like? You know, when Bitcoin needs to take a breather and tries to consolidate a little bit. Is it really consolidation, and can we hold support? Or are we going to crash down? It was all a fake out. And the 70,510 level will tell us that. And so to be crystal clear, as long as we do not get a decisive break below 70,510, the upside momentum is intact. And it would require a 5-wave decline and break below that level to get a good confirmation that this was just, well, it was not a fake out, but because we didn't break above critical levels, right? We just moved into resistance. But it was basically just a very rapid wave 2. There was a catalyst for it, which explains why it happened so fast. So yeah, I think that should give you the key levels. And I think I was crystal clear on what the momentum is like, what the trend is like, what the levels are. So the short-term trend is up, and there is a potential that we are moving to a more bullish scenario when it comes to the larger context. That does not mean that necessarily the bear market is over. I didn't say that, right? It's too early to confirm that. I know everybody wants certainty, but unfortunately, guys, I hate to tell you, there is no certainty in markets, right? We can just navigate the uncertainty, reduce the uncertainty, which I hope I'm doing with these videos. So yeah, I hope it was helpful. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to get some further updates. Join our Discord analysis feed. You get access to our terminal and much more. Feel free to join as a gold member. And I put the links for you guys in the comment section below. Thanks so much. Have a great day.